Hello, my name is Acidical Portal, and today we will be learning about referencing and how that works in scripting. So, there's a type of code in Roblox that they use called Lua, and that's basically the premise. So, that's the type of code we will be using. That's not really important though, uh, but I just wanted to mention that. So, basically, referencing is it's pretty simple, even though coding gets very complex at times. But we have to think about workspace first before we get into anything more with that. So, workspace is class name is workspace. We can't change the class name because the class name is what the type of object or function kind of, sorry, not function, but the the properties that is used for it, if that makes sense. So the children, child of something is a are things like camera, terrain, and base plate. So the workspace is the parent of camera, terrain, and workspace, and the base plates, terrain, and camera are the children of workspace because the workspace takes care of the children underneath it. And this fixed script was put in by Roblox. But the parent of this would be base plates because it goes inside of the base plates. Or, sorry, fixed goes inside of the base plate. So basically, how to reference, so first we want to put in a part in the workspace, and then I'm going to change its properties using Roblox Studio and not actually in the game. See, the properties, they're useful, but if you want to make the game work the properties and change the properties while in game, it'll be very useful, and this is where the scripting part comes in, because you can't make this part move without a script in game, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a script, and this script essentially will open up this. We can delete hello world because we don't need that. That's just the default. So now I'm going to reference this part, but first we need to reference the game. So we have to type in game. What this does is it tells the game, like Roblox Studio itself, that we're giving it attention now. We're telling it what to do. Workspace is a child of game, so here it is right here. Then below workspace, since part is a child of workspace, we say part. So game.workspace.parts, and then we want to have a part, the parts properties, which is a child of part, but these always go in the part properties too. So we want to do game.workspace.part.transparency, since that's the appearance property that we're going to use for this. Game.workspace.part.transparency.5, and you'll see that the part will be see-through after this. So if I press run, the part is see-through, and you can see how it looks see-through. And you can do that just through the script and you not actually doing it in game. So why do you have to put a dot here, you may be asking? It's because to reference or to tell a script, something, you have to use the dot to tell the part what is going to be next after that. It's like a tree essentially, and the dot is where they split. So basically, if I were to click the transparency, that's basically what this code is, because the game is telling the workspace, telling the part, telling the transparency right here, right? Because we're clicking the transparency to 0.5. So that's basically what that line of code is. So another example, what I want to do with this is I'm going to raise this in the air and I'm going to anchor this. And I want to make it in game without unanchoring it to fall to the ground. So basically, we can leave this here. It will stay see-through, but maybe you can have both because that would look cool, right? So what I'm going to do with this is game.workspace.parts.transparency. I'm sorry, not part.anchored. Since this is a Boolean value, I'm going to make it false, because Boolean values are either true or false with the checkboxes. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to run, and there we go. It falls to the ground like we wanted it to, and it's not anchored. And when we go off the game, back into Studio, it says anchored. So that's pretty cool, right? So, see, this stuff is great and it's all, but if we have more than one part, this is going to create a problem. So basically what this does is it's going to choose one randomly. It's not going to know, oh, this was also unanchored, but it's going to, you see how one of the parts is kind of shaded? Well, that's because we're only telling the script to choose part because they're both named part. So basically this one is see-through because the script only has to randomize and choose one of them because it's confused which one to choose. So basically what it does is it chooses the first child of workspace because this part is above that one. So we have to change the name of this if we want it to recognize it specifically. So I'm going to change it to a brick, I guess, because it kind of looks like a brick. So I'm going to change the part to brick, and I'm going to change this to brick, and basically it should do the exact same thing. And there we go, it falls to the ground just like we wanted it to. So that's basically this tutorial. You can do a lot more stuff with this in the future. I will be going over this, and trust me, there's so much more to this. This is only 2 lines of code. Eventually we're going to be doing dozens of lines of code once we get later into this tutorial series, because this is only the 2nd episode. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, give it a like, share it with your friends if they want to learn how to code, and I will see you guys in the next video. See you around.